It's the last big blockbuster of 2024 and it's a film all about Robbie Williams as a monkey. It's called Better Man. It dropped in cinemas across the UK on Boxing Day. So let's talk about it. Well, hello there, welcome back to another video, a brand new movie review and quite possibly the last movie review of 2024, yes. That's right, the time has come. Today we're talking all about the brand new Robbie Williams biopic movie. It's called Better Man. It drops in cinemas across the UK on December 26th. And before I start talking about it, as always, just a friendly reminder that these are just my thoughts, so don't let it dictate whether or not you decide to go and see the film, because you might go and see it and feel totally differently to me. And that is okay, because movies aren't made to cater for everyone. Without any further ado, let's start talking about it. And I'm not going to lie, I don't really know much about Robbie Williams personally. I like his music, I liked him in Take That, and he's one of the artists that I've listened to quite a bit, but to say that I know much about him is just not true, because I didn't. I knew that he was in Take That, and he left, and then he started off as a solo career, and to be quite honest with you, that's all I really knew, and to actually hear from the horse's mouth what happened to him in his life was really quite interesting, and I really enjoyed this much more than I thought I did. I went to go and see it with my mum on Boxing Day, the day after Boxing Day. I went to go and see it with my mum, and both of us didn't really know what to expect. My mum was still so confused by this idea of him as a monkey, and I wasn't confused by it. I understood why he was doing it, but I just thought, this is not going to work. I just won't be able to watch this film and have Robbie Williams as a monkey. It's just not going to work for me. That's what I first thought about it. And after seeing it, my mum was a bit like, I don't understand why he was a monkey. I just didn't get it. And we both agreed that it did actually work, and it worked a lot more than I thought it would. I thought it would just put me off the film entirely, but actually I understood everything and it did really work. The story made sense, and Robbie Williams said that a lot before it came out in a lot of press conferences and things like that. He said he doesn't know why it works, but it does, and I can agree with that, because it worked in such a bizarre way. So that's what I can say about that. So if you're thinking that might put you off, trust me, it didn't put me off at all, and it actually worked, like I say, a lot more than I thought it would. But the actual story, I mean, obviously this is his life, and it's not something that can just be made up. This is a real life story, and it was really interesting. I learned so much about him, and I knew that he left Take That, but I didn't know why. And this film addresses all of these things and the reasoning behind why he left Take That and things like that. And there's always two sides to every story, and like my mum quite rightly said, so far we've only actually heard Take That side, so it's really interesting to hear Robbie's side and put the two together. And I suppose, we'll never know exactly what happened, because, that's just the way life is. But we've heard both sides of the stories now, and we do get a really in-depth look at the reasoning behind why he left Take That, or at least his side of why he left Take That. I'm not going to lie though, my mum and I both thought the same thing. It's, is he going to get away with this? Like, he said some really, not nasty things, but he said some, he quite openly expressed his opinions about quite a few people in that film, and I thought, is that going to spark a little bit of tension, a bit more of a feud between these people? And, I thought, is he going to get away with saying stuff like that? But then again, this is his biopic. He has the right to say what he was and what he wants. And we all have a right to an opinion. So he is well within his right to express his opinion in a movie about his life. So I suppose if you're getting annoyed about his opinions, then I think you've gone to see the wrong film, because this is a film all about him. Having said that though, I do feel like there is a lot of missing gaps. And like my mum again quite rightly said, is so much has happened to him within his life, especially given how young he is still. He's not exactly in his 80s. That's what I'm saying. He's still got years ahead of him, but he's had so much happen to him in his life so far. And considering the fact that he shot to fame at 15 years old, to have just as much happen to him as he has had, there's so much to be told, and it probably would have worked better as a series, I think, because you would have really been able to get into everything. I just felt there was a lot of gaps, a lot of missing things in this film that could have been explored quite a lot. And I just feel like there's a lot that wasn't told at all. He focused quite heavily on certain sections of his life, which again, he's well within his right to. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have, because this is his biopic. But to me, it's like he's forgotten quite a hefty chunk of his life. If you didn't know that Robbie Williams had wife and kids, from watching this film, you still wouldn't know that he had a wife and kids, because they're not included in this film at all. It's almost like he's completely forgot his wife and kids, and they're not in the film. You know, he was in and out of rehab quite a lot. They can only put that in the film once, can't they? They can't really keep doing the same thing. I just feel like there's a lot more we could have learned about Robbie Williams. I feel like that could have been quite nice. And I thought, my mum disagreed with me, but I thought that there wasn't much of his music in there. There was a few songs, don't get me wrong, but I thought, considering it's a Robbie Williams biopic, I thought there'd be a lot more Robbie Williams music. There was only a few of his hits, and that was it, really. I was expecting a lot more of his music, considering all the other sort of musician biopics that I've watched. The Amy Winehouse one, the Whitney Houston one, their music is piled into the film, whereas I don't really think there was as much music in this one as others. But, you know, at the end of the day, all I can say is, if you're a fan of Robbie Williams and you want to learn more about his life, maybe you're a fan of Take That even, then I think this is a really interesting film. You know, I like Robbie Williams' music, I like Take That's music, so I was really interested to learn more about his life. If Robbie Williams and if Take That have no interest to you, then this is quite self-explanatory, not going to be a film for you. Do you know what I mean? I think it's very much common sense, this film. It's not really one that we can be too critical about, because it's a film about his life, and I always find these sorts of films challenging to talk about, because at the end of the day they can't make it up, because this is his life. Do you know what I mean? So this is an honest representation of the majority of his life, so it's not like they could change any of the storyline. Do you know what I mean? The way they deliver it could be altered, but ultimately at the end of the day, the roots of this film is Robbie Williams' story. So if you're not a fan of Robbie or Take That really, then this is not going to be a film for you. I think that kind of sums everything up about this film. But it's a good film. You know, I really feel like I know a lot more about Robbie Williams now than I ever did. And I was really pleasantly surprised by the monkey scenario. I thought that was going to put me off, but actually it worked really, really well. So there you go. There's everything I've got to say on Better Man. It's in cinemas in the UK right now. It's playing in select theatres across America right now, and is hitting all American theatres during January 2025. If you're lucky enough to go and get tickets to see it in the UK at a Cineworld very soon, you may be lucky enough to get your hands on a Better Man poster. They're giving away these free of charge if you go and book tickets to go and see it at Cineworld. And before I wrap up this movie review, just like I do with every other movie review, what do I rate it out of 10, and will I be buying it on DVD to add to my collection? Well, I'm giving this film a 6 out of 10. Do you know what? It was a good film. It just wasn't a blockbuster for me. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 blockbuster that really made me love it. It was just a good film, you know what I mean? So 6 out of 10 from me. And will I be buying it on physical media to add to my DVD collection? And I feel like I've been saying this a lot recently in a lot of my movie reviews. I've been saying the word maybe. And again, I'm going to say it with this one, maybe. It's not a film that I know definitely I want to get straight away as soon as it comes out on DVD. But I can see myself owning this movie on DVD. So the chances are, again, I'll wait for it to come down quite drastically in price before I purchase a copy for my collection. So there you go. There's my thoughts on Better Man, like I say, in UK cinemas right now and coming to American cinemas in January of 2025. And there you go. There's my thoughts on Better Man, and that is quite possibly my last movie review of 2024. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in another video and another movie review very, very soon.